All right, we're going to transition into baseball right now. Joining us, the manager of the Rochester Red Wings, Mike Quade. Mike, thank you so much for joining us today.
All right, my pleasure, man. How you guys doing?
Absolutely. So, you guys just got back from kind of a tough road trip, lost 4-6 in Indianapolis and Louisville. It seemed like after that 10-run first inning on the first game of the trip, things probably didn't go as planned. Give us a little recap of the road trip.
No, yeah, it was. Anybody that watches baseball, the first night in Indianapolis, the two teams, we must have set the game back 10 years. I mean, it was they made 4 or 5 errors. Fortunately, our defense has been so good.
Right.
We didn't contribute to that, but to have a 10-0 lead and have it wind up 15-10, and I think AJ had to pitch in that game. So we were kind of hoping that we would coast in that one, but. And then the next night, I think we get beat 6-5, and we did run into some good pitching. The kid that pitched against us yesterday in Louisville did a heck of a job. Offensively, we weren't quite as good, but Wheels was good, and the bullpen's been okay. But the road is no fun, and it's you're one win away from having a 500 road trip, which is considered good. But it's a long grind, so we got to swing the bats a little better than we did the last couple of days. And we got to continue to pitch it. But the defense has been the one consistent thing all year.
Now, have you ever seen – I mean, you've been around baseball forever. Have you ever seen an inning like you guys had in that 10-run inning in Indianapolis?
And you say no, but when you've got 25 years to draw on, I'm probably wrong, especially at the lower levels, because you see stuff in rookie ball and A-ball that you can't even believe.
Sure.
But no, it was unusual. They were coming off an off day apparently, and it looked like they were all at the beach. And because I think they made 2 or 3, maybe even 4 errors or plays that should have been made early in the game, routine stuff that guys at this level make, and that those kind of guys make. So, hey, look, you take advantage of it whenever you can. I mean, you feel bad for them after you beat them.
Right.
But you better take advantage of it, and the kids did, and we started us off on the right track. We just couldn't finish the deal in that series.
So, Mike, now you guys are home for an 11-game homestand, which has got to be nice. Three against Toledo, 4 against Lehigh Valley, 4 against Durham. You have not seen any of these teams yet. What are you looking for this week?
Well, it's funny. I'm just going through my numbers right now, which people that have done this before, I mean, splits and breakdowns and so on and so forth. It looks like early, we've got 4 left-handed pitchers in our rotation right now. And that, I will say, is probably the first time ever in my career I remember having that.
Really?
And that's good and bad, and I don't need to go into all of that. But at least against this club, just looking at matchups, they've got a lot of left-handed hitters. And so that could play well. You got to execute. You got to go out and play. But at least some of the teams that we've seen recently, Columbus, much better hitting club against left-handers, so that didn't play into it as well. Although we played decent against them, and really same for the Louisville club in my estimation. But it's like anything else. It's so hard when you see a club for 3 days, and heck, we probably don't see them again for however many 3 more days, and that's it.
Sure. To
get a feel. And I think you spend more time concentrating on what we need to do well, and get a feel for them as best we can, as early as we can tonight.
Mike, coming out of spring training, it seemed like the pitching was looking like it was going to be the big strength of this club, and it hasn't disappointed so far. You got to be really impressed with guys like Pat Dean and Taylor Rogers in their first AAA seasons.
Yeah, no, they've picked things up real well, and we early on we didn't pitch very well, and our bullpen got back together. We were able to get Presley and Tonkin to the big leagues, which is wonderful. Alex Meyer has struggled some, and we got to get him on track. But the other left-handers, and Tommy Malone came down here and pitched a gem the other night.
Yeah.
But the other left-handers have all done a good job, and the bullpen, AJ Actor's been excellent. And I think when I came out of spring training, I felt like we'd really catch it and we would really pitch it, and we'd see how the offense developed. Well, I think we're first or second in the league in runs scored, and that's a little bit surprising to me. But don't change a thing, fellas. Keep it going.
I was gonna ask you, were you surprised at because people were concerned at this if this club was going to be able to swing the bats, and you got guys like Ronaldo Rodriguez and both catchers, José Pinto and Eric Fryer, James Beresford, just really hitting well.
No, they really have. Fryer's been on fire. This poor guy's hitting 400, and I don't have him in the lineup every
Right,
day.
right.
So, but we mix and match, and he'll see more and more playing time if that continues. That's for sure. But I think when we broke camp, you take the guys that have either played at the big leagues or been around AAA, and you can kind of understand. I mean, I thought Pinto would hit and be a big part of this offense. I believe Tixie was going to have a good year. But then you take guys like Rosario, who is in Minnesota now, or Ronaldo, who's just been consistent and fantastic swinging the bat at first base. And when guys get their first bit of AAA experience, you don't know. I mean, they're good hitters and you believe they're going to hit, but you don't know if they're going to hit right out of the gate. And they've done that. James Beresford, Jimmy's off to an unbelievably good start.
Sure.
So it's a long grind. You take it when you can get it and just try and keep them going. But I'd be less than honest if I didn't say that I was a little bit surprised at the magnitude of the club offensively, and we need that to continue the next few days and in the entire homestand.
And I'm sure you got to be thrilled with Eddie Rosario getting all over Sports Center, hitting the first pitch out of the ballpark with all his friends and family on their iPhones in the stands. That was awesome.
Oh gosh. What did we do before iPhones and stuff, huh? I mean, God,
right?
Did a Pony Express or something. But no, it's funny coming back and doing this and managing at this level after a lot of years of not doing it. I had forgotten a little bit at how much fun it is to tell a guy he's leaving, and then how much fun it's been. I think we've got 5 or 6 kids up there right now that are with us so far, and to manage your game and work with the guys here. But also have one eye on the guys up there and hoping they're contributing and doing well. And so far, it's been a real good thing. And Paul's got those guys playing great in Minnesota. And that's the other thing. When you send young players to the big leagues, it's nice if they're in that kind of an environment where they're winning. There's some veterans out, Torrey Hunter. So it's a pretty good situation to get these kids right here and get them an opportunity there if they're needed for them to be successful. And so far, so good.
I mean, I was going to ask you, obviously, you're down here, you want your club to be winning, but I think when the big league club is winning as well, it's got to just be better for everyone in the organization.
Yeah, I mean, you try. We were talking today with some of the guys we've lost. Look, we're trying to win every night with who's ever on this roster, but ultimately you realize that you're here for them. And, when there are things that happen at the big league level, anybody, all the people in Rochester that have followed minor league baseball here in the city for years understand this. That there's a lot of coming and going, especially at the AAA level. And, many times it determines, how you play during stretches. Your roster gets depleted a little bit. You hang in there the best you can. You get some people back. But that's the nature of the game. But ultimately, it's really fun. And it's a pleasure to have guys come here and play as well as they have so far. And then when the phone rings, you get to send them there. And that's where everybody's looking to go anyway.
So, Mike, I got to ask you, we're now 11 days into May. The pitch timers, use the correct term. Has everyone kind of integrated that into the game? Are people still whining about it?
Yeah, we had one issue in a pretty key situation. The very first day it was implemented on May 1st with Danny Ortiz. And, I've got runners at second and third. It's a 1 or 2 run game in the 8th.
Sure.
There's 2 outs. I mean, I'm concerned about communicating with my guys on the bases and making decisions coaching third. And they had just made a pitching change. And I didn't even know strike 1 was called. I mean, I said, do me a favor. I mean, would you let me know?
Yeah,
because on the second strike, he was out. And I'm like down there going, well, what's going on? And you kind of pride yourself in paying attention, but I had no idea. So that was irritating, and for that to happen, we had no trouble with it the entire month of April.
Right.
And sure enough, in the 8th inning in a key situation,
the
something
first
like
night,
that happens,
right.
and you lose a strike. But overall, and there have been, we've looked around the league, and there have been a handful of violations, if you will, by both pitchers and hitters since they did it. But I still think it's minuscule. I don't think it's going to be a big deal. And obviously, the more these guys understand this is the way it is, it'll be easier for them to toe the line and do the right thing. And look, guys don't want, we don't want to be here all night. I don't want to play 4 hours.
Right.
So, but there's a fine line between rushing people into stuff and having a nice quality pace of game. And I think it's working, and I think so far our guys have adjusted well.
Now, up in the press box, people were saying that they had decided that everyone would get a warning. Is that actually happening, or was that misinformation?
No, there's the warning. I read like 8 pages 4 books on this stuff. It's like, look, it's a 24-second clock. Really? What am I? Like I'm reading War and Peace to figure this stuff out. And then after I'm done, I sit back and go, I still don't completely understand it. So all I know is there in the 2 or 3. We had one yesterday actually. A strike was called.
Okay.
And there's no warnings given. Maybe that was supposed to happen in April. But again, it was like a non-issue to me in April. I never even, I never paid much attention, and there was no reason to.
Right, and it didn't seem like the umpires were even bothering to issue warnings in April either.
No, I don't think so. I think somebody might have been given one, or maybe Eric Ferris was given one. I can't remember exactly, but it doesn't matter. It's they don't. There's no warning now. The clock gets down to 3 seconds, and the hitter's not ready to hit. They'll call strike one, and that's just the way it's going to be. And no one likes to be up there 0-1 before they've seen a pitch. So guys, to get in there and get ready.
Yeah. Well, Mike, just one last question for you. You managed the Cubs in 2010, 2011. I mean, so obviously you really made a name for yourself in this game. Is it an adjustment coming back to AAA to manage? Do you manage any differently? Because to me, it seems like I like the way you manage because you're using pinch hitters. You're leaving guys in for one hitter and then going back to the bullpen. It seems like you manage AAA almost like you're in the big leagues.
Well, I don't know. It's obviously not. It can't be all that because and I think when I was here this winter, when I got the job, people were asking about development versus winning, and I think a balance of both is important. I think that you pride yourself in trying to keep your bullpen guys active and using them, and guess what? You don't always get to use them in the perfect situation to keep them active. You try to, and if it comes up where you've got a left-hander to get one hitter, that's going to be his job in the big leagues. Then you do that, and if a guy is struggling, but that's going to be his job, you've got to continue to give him opportunities. And so there's you pinch hit in certain situations. I pinch hit for Diaz late in the game, taking a shot at a home run from Peterson, and I think everybody understands that. You also need to understand that some of the younger kids who haven't had a chance to play as much, but who have put up good numbers, and I'm not pinch hitting, nor would I, because he can hit. But guys that hit better and guys that are younger may get an opportunity against a tough pitcher that you might have a better matchup against, because that's the development part of it. But we're trying to do the right thing and win, the best we can with the roster that we have. And that's, kind of always the way I've managed. But, I spent so many years managing in the minor leagues that the tougher transition was managing up there. Coming back here has been great. And to be honest, I'm probably more relaxed than I've ever been doing it. And that's made me very comfortable. And I give these kids a lot of credit because they're a great group to be around. And they police themselves. They love to play. They have fun, and they know the difference between fun and work. And it's made it real easy for me.
Well, you definitely have a resume full of winning. You won the AAA championship in 1999 with the old Vancouver Canadians, and minor league manager of the year in '93 with the Ottawa Lynx. So I think you have success up north, which is, I think, bodes well for Rochester.
The game's been very, very good to me. I don't know who said that. Some guy, I think Chico Escuelo. But no, I've been very fortunate. And but you know what? Ultimately, good players result in you being acknowledged for stuff. And I've been with some great organizations, and I feel like I'm with one now.
Well, Mike, the Toledo Mud Hens are in town, 7:05 tonight. Hopefully the weather holds up. It's looking good right now. So hopefully we'll be all right. And have a good crowd at the ballpark tonight.
All right. Thanks a bunch. You guys
Mike,
take care.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
All right. Bye-bye. That was Mike Quade, manager of the Rochester Red Wings.